Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's good, doggy?
What's happening? Long time no see, man.
How you doing, man? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm chilling. Yeah, man.
Glad to hear it. Where are you right now?
Late night flow. I'm in Ohio, man.
Ohio, nice.
Midwest. Yeah, I'm visiting my family. Came out here for my sister's wedding, beginning of the month, and then I'm heading back to San Diego next Tuesday.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I was just in San Diego just for a little couple.
Bro, I saw you were out there for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. Dude, Little Italy is so fun, man. And like, there's so many spots that I hit, and dude, that place is gorgeous.
That's sick, bro. Do you still have family out there?
Yeah. So, I just had a family member that graduated, so I just went out there. Took my girlfriend out there, and then we pretty much spent it all with family. So it was really nice.
Nice. You back in Vegas now?
Yeah, back in
Shut
Vegas.
the store real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, back in Vegas now. Until I leave to go to Utah in the next couple of days, and then I'm gonna be there for a while. So it should be fun.
Man, wow. No, dude, I'm thinking like last time we talked, man, it's been like what, 6-7 months. It's been
Probably.
a while. Last year.
I don't know. Yeah, you were here. You came with we went to the comedy show. Remember that? That was fun.
Oh shoot, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, that was a vibe. That was a vibe.
That was such a last minute thing too, man. Cause my roommate, he's like, he was just going out there flying through. He's like, dude, come out. I was like, all right, whatever. And we just had no plans. So I was like, yo, Blake's in town. Let's hit him up.
Mine as well,
Vegas
bro.
Real quick. That was cool.
Whenever you
and then we were just like talking about NFTs at your house until like, I don't even know, 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah. There we
You
go.
get your pool put in yet?
Yeah. I'll give you a tour really quick, since
Nice.
I'm literally right over here downstairs. So do you remember what my backyard looked like back then?
Yeah, it was just like a big pile of dirt. Woo.
Yeah. So we got
that's a huge transformation. That's nice.
Yeah, bro. So you got that hot tub, and then I have like a cold plunge right over here. This stays at 33 degrees, 33 to 36 degrees, really depending on how warm it is outside. But yeah,
bro, it's still light. What time is it there? It's like 8:05, right?
Yeah. It's like 8:05
or 8. Okay. Wow. Gets dark late.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's beautiful, man.
You see the moon already, so yeah, it's been really nice. I love it so far. Good weather. It wasn't like too hot actually. Like it's like in the 80s, so it's pretty chill.
That's right. You changed your little setup. Your brother's still living with you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. But yeah, setup so far definitely had like man. That's right. Like it looks pretty sick.
A little different. Are you still in the Bay? Yeah. No, you're still office still in the same spot. But you changed the whole background, I guess.
Yes.
No more team branding.
Yeah. I still have my gents croquet club.
Oh shoot, man. Yeah, we got to dive into that. We got to talk about that too.
Talk about here. I'll show you this.
Yeah.
The NFT still up. It's on my wall.
Bro, all the boys are in London right now. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah. So it's so cool. I wish I was there, but I can't make it because I'm going to Utah and I have a family trip. So
yeah, no, I looked into it. Like it was just a kind of a little last minute for me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be in Europe I'll be there probably mid-August. So
London, nice.
I don't want to pop back. So
yeah.
But man, dude, yeah, no, I was here. My sister graduated, then she got married. So I came visit the family real quick. But I haven't been back to San Diego, man, since November. I've been traveling for about 7.5 months now. So I'm ready to get home for real.
I saw you did that. You were in like, was it Africa? And like you did
yeah.
Man, you went off grid for a lot of it.
I did, bro. Yeah.
Instagram and had a social media sabbatical. How was that?
Bro, amazing. It was beautiful. It's much needed, a good kind of refocus for me. And I spent 3 months out there. The first month I was traveling through East Africa. We can dive into it on the pod. I'm thinking a little bit if you want. But basically, yeah, climbed Kilimanjaro with my dad, and then spent 2 months after that. Well, 2 weeks after that, I was helping him film some documentaries for his mission, for his work. And then I spent 2 months in a hut, essentially just like in a rural hut in the western coast. So traversed Africa and then
So cool.
just sat in a hut, man, and just pretty much meditated, fasted, and did it until the beginning of Ramadan. I don't know if you're familiar with the Muslim holiday. So I was out there for the first 2 weeks, partaking in Ramadan and just reconnecting to my roots. I grew up there. I don't know if I told you. I think I told you that. Yeah, you know all that stuff. But
Yeah.
so reconnecting a little bit with my childhood. I left. I moved to the States when 2017. So it's been a little bit since I spent a good amount of time there. So it was really good.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you Muslim now?
I'm not Muslim, no.
Oh, okay.
but I definitely was like I grew up Christian, but I grew up also around a lot of Islam. All my friends were Muslim. So I grew up in, doing
Nice.
iftar, doing Ramadan, doing all the holidays. So
Okay, cool.
it's like a comfortable place. Like maybe like if there was a nice medium between Christianity and Islam, that'd be awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I haven't asked you about religion at all. Are
Honestly,
you
I have
God or
yeah, I do. I grew up like Catholic, which is like really similar to Christianity. It's a little bit more traditional, I'd say.
yeah.
But like I'm more of like a, you know, I believe in good and bad. I like reading like I have the show you really quick. Let me shake out the pod. Hold up.
Yeah, show me. Let's see it.
But like this this is right next to my bed. This is the Quran. So
Nice.
it's a little book, so got that on the right next to the
Little
bed. I
book.
just like
Just a little
reading it.
book.
Yeah.
What do you think,
It's
man? What do you think? Because yeah, I've dabbled in it too, and I'm curious. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
it makes sense. I mean, like they say like Muslim is like the last religion, so a lot of the things that they say in there make sense. I listen to a lot of people comparing like different religions, and they say like it depends on like what you're tolerant to. And I think that like the Quran has like a lot of like very, very strict moral standards. And Easternization, polar opposite than Westernization. So there's just a lot more in the eastern side of the world that they don't tolerate, whereas like in the westernized culture, they kind of like they have like, oh well, that's okay, this is okay, it's more black and white. So like I resonate more of some of the things that that are in the Quran, at least today, because I think it's a pretty big problem to see like people starting to like bend gender roles and
Yeah.
like do all of these haram activities where it's just like it all reverts back to God, it all reverts back to good. So it's really interesting reading everything though, and just being a little bit more competent about what other, what people believe in.
Yeah, man. No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, it's like very how can I say? Yeah, it can be very divisive, like controversial, some of the stuff, but
Yeah.
it's truth, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes truth is not always easy to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's really interesting though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man. Well, dude, I want to just like I'm just gonna hit record here and just we can just keep talking. But
For sure.
I know you got the fireflies on here. Can we? Because I don't know how it's gonna look with that there. If we can like take it off or just
Let me see more. Are you the host of this? You probably just kick it off.
okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want it for notes, I don't know.
Nah. It's all good. It's all good,
I'm
bro.
assuming you just have it on the just
Yeah.
joins as a plugin. So how do I? Let's see how I can kick this guy out.
Yeah. Be under like
Chat and make host rename allow put in waiting room. See if that works.
there you go.
Okay, there we go.
Does that work?
That works. Yeah, no, I haven't done one of these at the night, so my lighting's a little bit
No worries.
off, but let's see if I got a light here. Let's see. Like that.
All good, all good.
Just go without it. But yeah. Sick, man. So I'm just gonna hit roll here.
Cool.
I think it might already be recording. Yeah, it already is. Yeah, all my meetings are recorded already, so no worries. We're already going, bro. We're already going. So yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, let's run it.
All right, sick. So guys, welcome back to another episode on the pod. I got a special guest here today with me. I'll let him introduce himself, but we have been friends now for actually about a year, I think, a little over a year. Worked together on an NFT project that some of you guys might be familiar with, Gents Croquet Club. And yeah, Blake's on tonight with us. I'm here in Ohio. He's out in Vegas. But Blake, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you introduce yourself, man.
How's it going, man? My name is Blake. I build software companies, anything that is within the realm of future technology, AI, NFTs. Find myself in various projects that I'm working on building software products. So yeah, that's me. Worked with Jacoby for, how long was that? Was that like 6 months that we were like building out the GCC?
5 to 6 months or so, I'd say. Yeah, early 2022.
Yeah, went on as a gatekeeper. We're qualifying people applying for an NFT project. It sounds weird. It sounds very weird to say that. At least now, because like where even are NFTs? I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But that really started to build the momentum within my career, and it really helped me, kind of equip me with the tools that I currently use today with building tech products and software companies. So
amazing, man. Amazing. Yes. So yeah, Blake, man, if you don't know, I love to have conversations on here with guys that are kind of, doing similar stuff like we're doing, entrepreneur, path, and just share a little bit more about kind of the journey, because obviously it's ups and downs. And I want to dive into that a little bit with you, because I know you were working very heavily in NFTs and now you kind of pivoted a bit. But yeah, just share some wisdom and just our experience and life stories for maybe like our younger selves, right? So if you want to give a little background of your kind of entrepreneur journey, that'd be sick. I know I'm familiar, but just for everyone.
Yeah, man. It was a long journey for me. I've basically been in, the game of business ever since I can remember. I mean, it kind of goes back all the way to like high school. I've never actually had a real job in my whole life. But I always found myself, hustling, trying to make ends meet, until I kind of found myself in like software and marketing.
Started with tattoos. Got to get into that.
Yeah, started with tattoos. Yeah, I'll get to that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm 21 years old. I turned 22 in August. But yeah, like by the age of like 19, yeah, my team and I were managing over $30 million per year on revenue with across like brick and mortar tattoo shops. That was a pretty revolutionizing experience, especially in this industry. But yeah, I mean, I started off with like an agency, even before the tattoo management agency. I mean, back in high school, I remember I had like a digital marketing agency, and this is when the Iman, was teaching people how to start your own, online business. I remember like I think I was part of the agency incubator was his program.
The OG, yeah.
OG, yeah. Bro, thank God for that, because like that literally was just like the pivotal point for me taking going through the whole program and teaching me the basic fundamentals of business. That was not an agency. It sort of was like an agency specific, like how to start an agency business, but like if you really looked at that program, it was just like a brick and mortar like service-based business. Is like, this is how operations are in the modern day. So I took
it was a program for those that aren't familiar, how to set up an online agency, how to offer digital marketing services in the online space, which was very new back then, right? And I think a lot of guys now in the internet marketing space, a lot of the guys we're in our network and are friends with have gone through that and have a lot of people started with that on that path, which is crazy.
Yeah, and because of like the base of the whole business is just like you find a problem in a business, and then you basically solve that problem by outsourcing it. So it's just like a service-based arbitrage, which is really cool.
Contract arbitrage, service arbitrage.
Yeah. And that's, very low barrier to entry, but that's really good to get into. Is I think today even, if you're just starting out. So I did that, back in, was it 2018, and then yeah, I mean, I technically I'm a I'm a high school dropout as well too.
Let's
I
go, baby.
Yeah, it's skipped the traditional path to college. This is laid out for me. I wasn't like I don't have a story of like I'm like a bad student or anything.
Yeah.
I was actually a really good student. I did my homework, and I think I graduated with a 3.8 GPA. So I was just like, you do the work, you submit your assignments, and like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like during high school, like I was just taking on a bunch of like projects within my agency, which is like kind of like started from referrals. I was a true agency owner. Because some people are glorified contractors and like they say they have an agency and then they do all the service delivery themselves.
Facts, bro. Yeah.
But I use onlinejobs.ph to outsource a lot of my tasks. They weren't even productized services at the time. They were tasks.
In the Philippines. Yep.
Yeah, like, but it's at $5 an hour that I was hiring from the Philippines.
$3 to $5 an hour. Yeah. Don't sleep on online jobs, PH.
Dude, it's and it still works too. Like it's even with inflation, you can still find talent, and maybe for like 8 to 10, but like it's still an extremely scalable business model because you can still charge more for your services, right? But yeah, I mean, I did pretty well in that, and then eventually like I kind of hit this plateau in my career where it was like I wanted to, like, I remember by the time I graduated, like I wanted to change my environment. So I was just like, I'm gonna have
So
to.
you say, wait, sorry to interrupt you, but you said high school dropout, but you said you graduated.
Yeah,
What happened?
high
So
school.
you did finish high school.
Self-graduated. Yeah.
You got your GED, or do you actually like
Yeah.
grad?
I
GED.
finished all my credits. So
Okay.
technically in high school, I did this, so my junior and senior year, I did this program called a Running Start. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but
Okay.
it basically it's college in the high school program. Basically, it fast tracked by in college.
Like dual
Uh,
enrollment. I know I've heard of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay. Got you.
yeah, and basically like I was in like technically I'm like 2 years in college, like degree wise. And then I was supposed to transfer that to go into college, technically as a junior in college. But
Gotcha.
yeah, like I had all my credits and like had like I even got accepted in University of Hawaii. But like I was just like, do I want to study international business over there? Or am I going to get really good at surfing? So, like, like I was like, this is a trade off that I don't want to do. And a lot of my counselors at school, they basically said, like, I mean, if you're already in a position where, you think you could, because like they kind of agreed that like entrepreneurship and like business wasn't really, if you're going in that, then you're gonna have to have real, experience in. And I just told them like I have a job already and like I'm already making money. This is something that I want to do. And like this is sort of gonna hinder that. If I
Bro, and
do.
let's be honest, man, like
Yeah.
business degrees, they're not really it, man. Like I understand, obviously, okay, I don't want to bash university because I know a lot of people are, it's definitely a controversial topic, right? If you're going for a specific degree where you're a specific profession, like, doctor, lawyer, these kind of things, yeah, you need that. But business, like you said, man, you need experience. You need experience in the marketplace,
Yeah.
and you're learning from professors that, are 5 years plus, who knows, removed from the actual, thing that they're teaching. So
Yeah.
yeah, business wise, generic degrees like that, you don't necessarily need them.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're self-employed or like you're an entrepreneur, or you want to work for a company directly. Most companies already like they look for experience rather than they look for a degree. Because my dad actually works in the staffing industry as well too.
Mm,
Uh, so like that's just like, that's just how it is, right?
yeah.
But yeah, so I moved out. I remember like I decided like I'm done with education. It wasn't something where it's like I can come back to it whenever I need it. It was like, no, I'm done. All of my credits depleted. I basically agreed upon the fact that like if I don't continue, then I'm gonna have to retake the class that I took because like there's like a particular time frame that that you'd have to like continue education for some reason. It's just like they try to retain a customer, and then I just like basically just abandoned cart.
Because university is a business, man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
They
So
keep calling you until you sign up for the next semester. They want your tuition money.
exactly.
I found this out, man, my second year of university, because they wouldn't let you live off campus if you were under like 19.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's BS, man, because why?
Yeah.
They want your money for room and
Mhm.
board. And
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't want to live on campus. It's gonna be much more expensive. So
Yeah.
I wrote a petition, and I didn't apply in May, because if you apply in May, that's when everyone's applying to get accepted to live off campus. So I thought, I'm gonna wait until they accept all the incoming seniors. And once they
Mhm.
have all those people coming in, then they have to free up beds. So I waited till after the summer, and I applied. I sent my petition like a week before school got back in sesh. And they at that point, they knew how many freshmen were coming in, how many had been accepted. And so now they needed to free up beds. And I literally told them, I said, I'm moving schools. And but if I get accepted for off campus, maybe I'll stay. So they would rather, they'd rather keep my tuition money rather than lose my tuition and room and board. So I played it
Right.
like that, and I got to live off campus. I was one of the only people at my age doing like living off campus.
Damn.
University's a business, man. They want to make money. They want you to
Yeah.
be, spending money on everything, man. Books. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's
Dude,
ridiculous.
I honestly I have yet to meet a person that is happy with the education system as is. Um, Everyone is unhappy with traditional education because it's antiquated and it's designed to train people as like the cogs for like traditional systems. I'm gonna bash on education. Like I love like it was fun for me, but like it wasn't the move.
I mean,
But
bro, I've been through. I have my degree, so I can say,
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
a place. I'm not like one of these. Like I know there's a lot of like
yeah,
internet money guys in their 20s dropped out of college. Yeah, you don't need college, whatever. Like
yeah,
f that, whatever. But bro, I've been through it. I've
yeah,
done it, and I mean, there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons, but for the
yeah,
most part, not necessarily if you're going into business. Now, that being said, as an entrepreneur, you do need people. You do need cogs. You need those people that have that mindset. So, I can't say education is bad overall. It just depends on the type of person you are. Like if you're like me and you, maybe it's not the thing. So I just wish in our education system in the US, there was a better sorting process, or there was, the counselors were more aware of
yeah.
that. There's different archetypes. Not everyone is meant to go through this kind of this
Yeah.
path.
Absolutely. If you were to like deep dive into the traditional education system, it was designed by industrialists during the Industrial Revolution, where they wanted to create an entire labor force of people so companies can basically pick and choose candidates who were essentially sitting in a room for 8 hours a day as they were told and do as they're told. So teachers are trained to teach, students the principle of something called convergent thinking.
Mhm.
And basically what that is, it's very one-dimensional, as it conditions students to be, taught what to think rather than how to think, if that makes sense. Like indoctrination, right? So we've all been in a classroom setting, um, where teachers are teaching a subject, and the core curriculum is based on the notion that there's one problem, there's only one way to solve this problem, and if you're to do it any other way, then by default you're already wrong, right? Now, everyone knows that like that's not how the world works, right? The modern day education system is merely the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Um, because it teaches us, what is instead of the hows. And to a certain context, arguably, it can be seen as like indoctrination. So, as a result, like it teaches these kids, they're trained to solve irrelevant problems by the time, they're at their peak in the labor force, so that when they graduate college, the problems that they were trained to solve simply become irrelevant to the fact that, the world basically had moved past their training, and companies, are they're in need of specialized skill sets that the schools didn't teach. And this is something that kids should learn, specialized skills. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, it's really crazy, man.
A
But
high
that's
value
traditional
marketable
education.
skill.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I mean, when I got out of college, they train you, they push. Okay, you're gonna get a job, it's gonna be good. But after college, there's no like, it's just kind of a drop off. You have to kind of, okay, now it's up to you.
yeah,
And most, like you said, most jobs, it's on the job training. You need experience. You need internships. You still need, you need some experience, right? So
yeah,
developing that high value skill, that's one piece of advice I'd give like younger guys that are in high school that are like that are going through this, and they're trying to find a way out, is like find a skill, whether it's sales, whether it's,
Yeah.
copywriting, whether it's one of these like internet marketing skills that you want to have, but something that markets you. For me, I got into videography and photography super early on. So I had that. I would edit videos and do that when I was in late high school, early college. So what about you, Blake? Do you have any skills you developed early on?
Sales, building teams. I did a little bit of video editing. I learned website design.
Web
And then
design's huge,
along with that was copywriting as well too, which is big. It's just like a lot of these like tools that you kind of, these skills that you kind of pick up as like as a T-shaped marketer. And I think that the more that you continue in your entrepreneurial journey, you'll kind of realize that like you kind of have to like build your toolbox of skill sets. And what I mean by that is like you're gonna have like a screwdriver, you're gonna have a hammer, you're gonna have power tools, etc. But like it's really like you have to build your database of tools, and then you're gonna have to figure out like what are practical applications where you can use them to help people to basically bring people tremendous amounts of value, and then you're pretty much paid in proportion or technically a fraction of that value that you've created for them. So that's basically it. But like it just comes comes from like learning and failing. But yeah, for me it really came with like software technology, and essentially just learning like the sort of like the context of like different businesses, right? Because like the thing is like the tools are the same, the tools within the toolbox are the same, but like big businesses are configured differently. It's the same tools, but like you have to fundamentally understand how like each business is configured, right? Are they a leads based business? Are they product based business? Like are they getting quality leads, etc. So I mean, yeah, that's like one of the biggest things for me. And it just takes reps and experience.
Sick, man. No, sick. And so to go back to your kind of your journey, you want to finish up on that side. Like I know, you got the job, you left, after you left high school, you started working with the tattoo stuff. And then what was the progression from there?
It's a funny story actually. It was
you were sleeping on a couch for a bit.
Yeah, the most interesting, I would say, 2 years of my life. Fresh out of school. Like I moved out of my hometown, focusing on building my company, rather than learning about business hypothetically from a professor who has no experience. I moved in with my mentor at the time, and like he was an accountant, and like he basically had no idea I was moving.
How'd you meet him?
Family referral. Basically like I have like sort of like a network of like family members who run businesses, and there's this one guy who manages all the financials. So I wanted to reach out to that guy and gain as much experience and knowledge from him, because he runs their businesses remotely, and then also at like a sort of like he's sort of like an accountant, financial, strategist, whatever you want to call it. But like he makes pretty big decisions based off the finance of the business. So like I was just like, I need to learn from this guy.
Yeah.
So I worked in a garage startup, which eventually turned into an entire operation with over 60 people in less than a year.
Wow. What did you start out doing? Like, I know you approached this guy, obviously he was a family friend. But were you just like, yo, I'll work for you for free? Like, just, I want to get my hands dirty. What was that approach like?
I mean, at the beginning, it was rough, man. It was rough. I kind of showed up to his house. I was like, yeah, like we should definitely meet. And then like, I remember I bought a one-way ticket. Don't do this.
You bought a one-way ticket to his house?
Yeah, man. I was like,
you never met him yet.
No, not in person. I mean, we're messaging.
That's definition of burn the ships, man.
Dude, burn the ships. I mean, to a certain extent, it's I think people start businesses, it's mainly like motivation or desperation. And like for me, it was like more of a desperation. It's like, if this does not work, then nothing will. But like I kind of showed up to his house, and like I was like, I just want to say how I can help you. We're talking, so like it wasn't completely cold. It wasn't like I was door knocking or anything. I was just like, he was like, oh, like you showed up. It's like, oh, but I guess you can start on like helping me clean the house. You can kind of watch what I do, and I was just trying to be as valuable as possible until I was worked 14 to 16 hours. Basically
18.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sleeping on the couch or the floor was the price I had to pay in the early stages. But like as we
this was free work you were doing.
I was doing free work, bro. Free work.
Oh, wow, okay.
I did not expect any pay. I was literally just like, I needed to move out of my environment. I was literally like, I want to be able to bring as much value as I can, because like I know that this guy was doing numbers, and like he was really like, he knows what he was doing. So I was just like, I'd rather learn from him than go to school. So
And he was out in California?
yeah, LA,
In LA.
Pasadena,
Gotcha. And you moved from where?
from Seattle.
From Seattle. That's right, Seattle. So you came down from Seattle, whole new place. You ever been to LA before? Or that was your first time?
First time.
You just cold turkey sent it, and just, I tell this to people because they always ask, like, I want to start something. I want to get into business. I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, find someone that's doing something that you want to do,
Yeah.
approach him like what you did, man, and literally offer to work for free.
That's what I did.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly what you did.
Exactly what I
Would
did.
you
Yeah.
recommend that? Do you think that's a good approach, or would you have done it differently now looking back?
I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing that with like any any person. Like it depends who
Yeah.
you're going to. Like they have to be significant in in any way in like business. They have to be equipped with like the vehicle that, or the vertical that you'd want to essentially work towards. But I mean, if it's something that, for example, if I was just a college, someone in college, and like I know that this is the top 1% real estate agent in the state of California,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be door knocking his house every single day, bro. So I'm gonna be like, hey man, I want to take out your trash. Like I just want to be around with you. There has to be like an equal exchange of
There's some
value.
that rubs off just being around those kind of people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I found myself doing all these like little meticulous like house tasks basically until I got good enough to get out my laptop, which I brought, and basically go over like P&L statements and whatnot. But I mean, it was interesting because like in the beginning, I remember like he was managing different like clients, mainly in the sector of art. So tattoo artists, private, like he was private art galleries and like artists that do murals and paints and stuff like that. Um, and these are like these aren't like cheap clients. He takes a percentage of how much they make, and they make a lot of money.
Mm.
And he was I was like, basically like, what's the bandwidth of like this business? I mean, he was like, we don't really, he's like, I just manage their financials. I don't really have a business, but if this were to be one, then this would be more of like an agency that would first, manage their books, their finances. And then like, this is like when, I started to grow my team, and like, we started to scale. We went from like having like, we kind of like grew the amount of people that were moving into my mentor's house. We're working in the garage. Yeah, and as we scaled our team, we're together 24/7. I mean, we lived in the same apartment complex. We worked in the same office. We had our own private gym facility, our own private chef, and everything. It was great actually. Originally,
Wow.
I was, the sort of when we started, it was the tattoo management agency. I was originally the sales director, who transitioned into like the multi-shop manager, which was a leadership role. So I would, our team was originally based in Pasadena at the time, but like occasionally I would fly out to different states with my team across the US, from New York all the way to Hawaii, to open up these studios.
These new studios.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I figured I'd learn more in the first 2 years of being engrossed in the business of art and technology, ultimately leading to the direction I wanted to go. So
Man, sick, super sick. Yeah. So you just dove right in, straight in. You were breathing and living business. You were
yeah.
sleeping on business. You were just in it with him. And then what got you to transition from that into the print shop, the NFT stuff, moving
Yeah.
into Vegas, that whole transition.
So yeah, we were managing like over 2.3 million a month, and we had exponential cash flow coming from these shops, right?
Yeah.
And our agency was like super successful at the time, and it was just so niched that no other marketer, or the barrier to entry to this vertical is so high, because in order to actually acquire a client in the tattoo space, you'd have to like literally walk into a shop and develop a relationship within like 2 to 3 to 5 year time frame, in which I know most marketers don't want to do. They just want to hit the low hanging fruit, like real estate agents, or like lead gen for like or like for like e-commerce or whatever. But like tattoo artists, it's so niche, but like it was a gold mine. So
Because to help people understand, because I know more of the back end stuff, because you mentioned, told me a bunch about it, but basically artists, like tattoo artists, they
yeah,
want to just do the art, right? And they don't have necessarily the business savvy aspect of it, right?
100%.
So you would come in and you would basically, what exactly?
Yeah. Basically, like, we wanted to do the business aspect of it, and we just wanted our clients focus on the art. So
Bring them customers, bring them, yeah.
yeah, so like we booked them out. We had it like a CRM that basically, like, we basically built in a nutshell like a text message funnel where all of the inquiries, and keep in mind we're getting anywhere from like 40 to 60 inquiries per day per shop. So imagine all these leads coming in and conversations asking about how much a tattoo is, which artists are available, what is their bookings, like how much it costs, etc. So like we built that infrastructure. It was a simple text funnel, and like we had booking managers that basically worked
Ran it.
like, yeah, 14 to 16 hours. That was a very, like, those are workhorses. And basically they would collect a 50% deposit, and then that deposit is non-transferable, or non-refundable but fully transferable, but like we'd book them out 6 to 8 months, right? And these aren't cheap tattoos. Like, if I already I have a tattoo right over here, it's on the outer bicep. Thing cost me like $5,000. So we take $2,500 now, and then I've had to wait 8 months. So we did that on a daily basis with over 60 artists, and we're just booking them out, managing, and all the artists had to do. Like, let's just change the perspective over here, right? Because I was talking about the business perspective. All the artists had to do is show up at the shop 11 o'clock. They would open their phone, get an email. Okay, what client I'm working with, what their design reference was. Okay, cool. They have their placement photo. Okay, they're going to design the tattoo. The client would show
Beautiful,
up.
man. All the booked on their calendar. They just pop in, do their work.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's amazing. That's like, yeah, lead gen flow set up all for them.
Yeah. And,
That's
this
it.
was during the time of COVID as well, too.
Yeah.
Our shops did not slow down one bit. In fact, all of our artists started to become more and more booked out because of like the stimulus checks. So that it was just, the timing was perfect for everything.
It's crazy,
And,
man. It's crazy. How many of these like done for you models how many studios did you guys do this with?
So 14 total. Yeah, 14 total studios, over 60 artists. That's not even like counting apprentices. And like, many people began to notice our team's like disruptive movements within the industry, and like we started to work with like some heavy hitters. We began to open more shops, and we were opening shops. Like, we opened the shop at in like Caesar's Palace, and that was really groundbreaking in the tattoo industry, because it was just like, we have this less than 2-year old startup company that basically increased this tattoo brands business by over, like, we like 7x their business basically, and we got them to the best location on earth. And like, people started to know what I was doing in the tattoo industry. It's a big industry, actually. There's a lot of tattoo artists, and it's highly competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's just a lot of money in it. So
like gym launch of tattoos, man. That's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Essentially, man. Yeah, you're just growing, scaling these studios. That's crazy.
Yeah, but to answer your question, that transition, I actually made an exit in November 2021. I actually transitioned out of that to start a new company, which is NFTmanagement.com. I wanted to grow my body of work and diversify into the world of art and technology, where I saw like a lot unlimited potential. And I pretty much applied the dynamics of my art management agency, and started to build a team working on integrating like NFT tech into established businesses, basically. And this is sort of like the time that Pete actually reached out and started working for the GCC to take them on as a client. Work with them within the projects that we were working on. But yeah, I mean, it was an emotionally difficult decision to leave all that behind, but in the long term, I understand. I understood where technology was headed. I understood the experience I had working with these shops pretty much gave me the necessary tools to fundamentally understand how to interact with this new technology. Because I feel as if I were to, this is why most NFT projects fail, by the way. They don't have the reference experiences that I had with an actual like in-house agency with like working with real people, etc.
Yeah.
Skills are the only things that you cannot take away from an entrepreneur. And I think that's why most entrepreneurs who, the stories of like they lost everything, they came back, it's because they still have the skill sets. And I really believe that, that sort of helped me pivot, into the NFT space, and worked with, like the Gensco K Club, NFT Academy, the Tykes with Ryan Pineda, et cetera. And I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah, the rest is history. But now I exited it out of that. I'm kind of like out of the NFT realm
Out of
now.
NFTs. Yeah, man. He was eat, sleep, everything NFTs, man, when I met Blake. And yeah, then we both worked on Iman Gadzhi's Gens Croquet Club NFT, which was pretty cool, pretty fun experience, taking a bunch of sales calls together and onboarding guys into the crew. Basically, now it's kind of morphed into a private members club of high level entrepreneurs around the world. And yeah, we got to build that from the ground up, which was really rewarding, I think, for myself. I don't know if you have any comments on that, Blake, but
Yep.
yeah, it was a cool opportunity.
Yeah, dude, the Jazz Croquet Club was an amazing project to work with. I mean, I turned a lot of projects down because like it was just like I've never heard about the founders before. It seemed like a bad business idea. It's just like degen projects. But like when Iman mentioned that like he wanted to create an NFT project, I knew that there would be something very, very different in which he'd want to run this business. And keep in mind, it was actually a business. There's complex operations. There
Yeah.
was actually utility right from day one, in which I knew he can promise. So yeah, I mean, the fact that we were screening people before the purchase, before people can even, before the mint, and mint is basically when, we
People
start
invest.
to, we start to open the doors and people buying the limited seats basically. But yeah, just it just was structured perfectly. I mean, like they I placed I would put all my chips on Iman's side, and I was like, this thing's going to disrupt the industry, in which it did. So that was a fun 6 months. And looking back at it as a gatekeeper, Jacoby and I, like, we got to meet a lot of really cool individuals. Like as a result, like now we're have we literally met through the GCC, and that's just like a real world example of what happens when you have you have an audience and you start to monetize the audience with membership club, right? And then the technology was just like it limited the amount of seats. And yeah, it was really cool to see all that happen. And I think Iman, Pete, all of the gatekeepers, the devs, and it was a big team, by the way. Most people don't even like, we don't really talk about how
Big NFT team. Yeah. Compared to other NFTs. Yeah.
Dude, Pete did a lot of work, man. And I saw that as well too. Like he actually did a lot of work. Like he was running around, he was like the integration manager. He was just making sure that everyone is everything is working properly, right? And like the thing is with NFT projects, it's so high risk. So high risk, because if the smart contract is there's a little thing wrong with that code,
You
everyone
can't change it. Yeah, you can't change it.
So
So
it
everything's locked in.
so
No
high
room
risk.
for error.
Pete knew what he was doing. It worked really well. And I think that they, at least now, I'm not sure if you guys know, they made a really good, I think it was a bold decision to revert from the Web3 and go to the Web2 aspect of things. But yeah, that was a GC.
Yeah. Cool. No, GCC was amazing. Iman and Pete, both co-founders on that, crushed it. We had a great team, and we were one of the first, like you said, first in history to do those interviews, to actually vet people that we let in. We didn't just let anyone in, even if they had the money. If they didn't meet the criteria, me and Blake didn't let them in. They had to be straight up dudes, straight up guys that were gonna make it a better space. And oh yeah, compared to a lot of other NFTs, I'm sure Blake is more aware of this than myself. But yeah, a lot of other NFTs in the past before that were just cash grabs, influencers, pump and dump schemes. So that was one of the first kind of more real business side to it. And then now with NFT space being kind of where it is now, they decided to move it over to a Web2 membership club, which I think is going to be a good future for the gents.
Yeah, absolutely. As it should. I think that was a really good decision for them. Yeah, especially with like what they're building. Like the app was like the one thing, the concierge, and just like all the meetups, the networking events. Yeah, there's a lot of utility in that project, man. It's like for us to just be a part of it. And I think there's even more utility at the time for us, even because we were in the back end, right? We got a free NFT, and then we just like we had all that like knowledge, and like we were literally the people where all the leads were going to, and it's just we meet these really cool individuals, right?
Yeah, super sick people, guys that are in agency space, in coaching, consulting, internet marketing across the board. A lot of young dudes, old dudes too. Man, yeah, just met. I don't know. Do you have anyone stand out to you that you met? Any cool connections that you made?
Oh, plenty, bro. Plenty. I mean, it's more of like the people that are sort of in like the same boat as me. I would say there wasn't one person that's, like stood out significantly. I mean, I remember I was on a call and I had the chance to, talk with Iman, which was really cool. But like at like the membership level, I mean, just surrounding myself with people that were in, agency, people that, had like an Amazon business, people that knew about credit hacking, like Eddie, people that were like, I found a couple of my employees through the GCC that I hired, and, either
Nice.
contracted. And yeah, it was amazing. It's just like, as I said, like once you filter, if you have an NFT project and you get to nitpick who gets to be in based off the value that they propose, and like now we're all just hanging out in a group chat, there's going to be businesses that are made. So take advantage of that. So a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, great, crazy mastermind. I don't think, very, very new thing, and it's hard when you're making money, as a young person on the internet. I know for myself, like finding people like that in your day to day life is hard. So having an online network where you can meet those guys and then have meetups. Blake and I have met in person. I host dinners and events in San Diego with the guys around there, and right now some of the guys are meeting up in London. Me and Blake couldn't go, unfortunately, but there's always events that we're having with GCC, and it's a sick community.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, man,
Absolutely.
no complaints, man. It was a dope experience, fun time. So what got you? When did you quit NFT management, and when did you kind of exit that and move to the SaaS stuff you're doing now?
Yeah.
Because we haven't
So
talked in a couple months.
yeah, a lot has
A
changed
lot has
actually.
changed.
So I'm currently in the process of going through an exit with NFTmanagement.com.
Okay.
Right now I'm like, we're going through looking for more buyers, getting more offers, etc. So I'll keep you updated on that. But in the meantime, I I love technology. The NFTs and AI, and even like CRMs, it's just technology, right? It's code. And I fell in love with AI. What's crazy is when I made my exit in November 2021 for the tattoo, management agency. November of 2022, I would say, sort of like at my peak. I was kind of at my peak of like, okay, I like NFTs, but like I heard about this new AI thing, or actually it started in November, especially ChatGPT basically broke the internet in November, literally like the year after that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was really cool. So I mean, it wasn't the fact that like I lost, because I know for sure that NFTs are going to be here for a long time. It's just technology that reduces the amount of friction in business. Although we did hinder the opportunity. A lot of people in the Web3 did because of the lack of business fundamentals. But like I just got tired of the lack of professionalism. And like I was getting reached out to a lot of projects that basically flopped, and they wanted to relaunch, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Like
It's
people were,
bro, and it's not you, man. I have many friends in NFT
yeah,
space. Many people that have gone through the same stuff. The DAOs, the just unties that did kind of good, and then they failed, man, and it was
yeah,
just across the board a
it
unfortunate
was, it was really,
turn of events. It's an amazing technology, and it will be used. It will be used in business in the future, but we have to catch up still. With everyone's got to catch up to it.
I
Even
knew that
crypto, man, we got to get on that wave.
absolutely. I knew that we were incredibly early with NFTs at the time. I knew that that wasn't the peak of it. Um, but yeah, I have a feeling with like, it kind of goes hand in hand. I think NFTs and AI go hand in hand. I think that artificial intelligence is going to expedite the need for NFTs. especially with like deep fakes. You know, it's hard to figure out what the truth is. Is an internal organization gonna define like what how to delineate what the truth is with artificial intelligence and deepfakes, who this person said, who this politician, what this politician said, etc. Or is there any other technology that verifies things on the internet? And that's technology that already exists. So I think that like artificial intelligence is the fact that the danger levels start to arise with AI. I have a feeling that it's going to be very beneficial to the further development of NFTs in the future for sure. Like the blue check, for example, is going to have a different meaning or like a different use case of what it means, because now that we're talking about like SBTs, like soulbound tokens that can be duplicated, can't be like traded, etc. Like that in itself doesn't necessarily have to be treated as an NFT. It's more of like this person owns this, right? It's owning a piece of the internet. So yeah, I wanted to work on the AI aspect of it, and I'm building really exciting tools, and I'm working with really cool people on building software companies. So
That's sick, man. That's sick. So do you want to talk about that software? Is that still kind of like in the startup mode? You want to talk more about the AI,
yeah,
stuff that you're doing now?
for sure, for sure. I mean, my whole goal as an entrepreneur is basically to, as I said before, like it was the same goal, when I was in high school, it was just to fill my toolbox. And right now, I'm putting all my chips on the table for future tech. And I think that, AI is a technology that a lot of people aren't developing in. So I wanted to focus on that. So, just to preface this, like I think the marginal cost of intelligence and energy is going to significantly shrink down to zero with future advancements of technology. I really believe that new technology like artificial intelligence will be integrated into most aspects of our life. It already is, right? Producing new efficiencies and enhancing human capabilities. Like I think, there's going to be aspects of it that's going to improve, the human experience overall. While it's basically possible for society to behave irrationally and choose to use it to their detriment, I see no reason to think that, it's more likely, I see no reason to think that, that is more likely as an outcome. AI and other like technology similar to that, coupled with like, significant advances in computing power and decreasing costs, basically will allow specialists in like a variety of like industries or disciplines to pretty much perform more efficiently, and will also allow like non-specialists to use AI to augment their skills. You know what I mean? So AI is getting better, and like more people can like work with it. So we're starting to see this with like health research, smart cities, development infrastructure, and for these applications to become reality, easy to use interfaces, or better yet, like transparent user interfaces. There's still plenty of room for development. So that's the reason why I kind of came, ventured into this, space. And it's basically like similar to NFTs. Like it's an extension of business, right? It's supposed to, it's the same principle as NFTs. It's supposed to reduce the amount of friction of traditional business operations. So my whole goal isn't to displace current positions, it's to expedite or amplify talents, right? So if like you're in with artificial intelligence, if you're an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. Right now you have to basically use to help expedite validating a product, expedite marketing, expedite website copy generation, expedite marketing, etc. So if you're a developer, right, same thing. It's like you don't have to think of code now. You can basically prompt engineer what you want and then copy and paste the code into your application, right? So I think it really just further enhances our abilities to do that. But I think that there's still a blue ocean with the amount of like practical applications that don't exist yet, if that makes sense, for AI. So I'm really big fan of no code. I'm sure you've heard of no code SaaS companies. Alex Heaton. You probably seen that guy come up. I'm actually working with him right now as we speak.
Okay. Yeah.
Building my SaaS AI SaaS company. Ideafy.ai is gonna that's what it is. And he's gonna help me he's gonna help me build and scale that, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, like now it's easier to build a software company due to no code. And now it's easy to build AI tools that people can use. And I feel as if like, we haven't even reached our our threshold on, or like we haven't even like really seen what this can do. I mean, it's really the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, it's
But
scratching the surface, man. All we got now is it's like writing prompt stuff. Like
yeah,
that's simpleton stuff. Like it's crazy. Like
yeah,
you said, human optimization, tech optimization, and then prompt engineering. That's where we need to learn how to properly utilize these
yeah,
tools and make it easier to coding, man. Coding, which has traditionally been something that takes years, where you have to learn certain languages, and all this has been completely removed. And
yeah.
everything, yeah, time is been cut down, been cut in half now with tools that we can use with AI, and it's just starting to scratch the surface, man. It's just beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, like as I said, like it's just gonna speed up processes. Like traditional processes are gonna be shrink down because like you have basically you're you were to like fundamentally break down what a company is. All a company is like a complex hierarchical like corporate structure. That's basically it. Right. A company is basically like slow dumb AI essentially. And I like to make this analogy because it's true. Because typically you have this like pyramid of like people who make decisions at the top, and then you'd have cogs, for lack of better words, moving down to the bottom of the pyramid. Whereas like with artificial intelligence, it's like it eliminates the need for as much creative thinking to a certain extent. And it basically just it works a lot faster. It works smarter, makes better decisions. Like it needs significantly less inputs because it basically is a snapshot. Like its knowledge is the internet, anything past 2021. So it's literally smarter. Like it's not smarter than the smartest human being that ever lived. It's smarter than all the humans combined, right? So it's a really
Yeah,
important
yeah.
piece of technology because it's just like, a lot of people, a lot of people are building in it. So
Dude, it's crazy. No, it's crazy. When I first saw it, where you can just type something in, and it just shoots it out for you. It's like it's insane, man. It's insane what we have with AI, and the fact
yeah,
that or like you said, the smartest humans at our fingertips. It's like Google times 20.
yeah,
But dude, that's
absolutely.
crazy. That's crazy. What do you think about, I know we talked this on the beginning side of it, about a little bit about God, but what do you think about AI, God, this whole like, do you think robots will take over the world eventually with AI? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Not in my lifetime, but and
You don't think so?
yeah, I mean, books are going to be here forever, and books influence religion, right? Like thought, like the conception of like human thought was passed along traditionally for like centuries, basically, right? This is why literature is so important. This is why the invention of the printing press was so important, right? Which because it influences ideas and popular beliefs amongst people. But an argument to that, and I think that's something even more powerful than literature, ink on a piece of paper, is like words on a screen. It's digital information. It's technology that basically it's just like information that like not that influences people, and as it already does, right? Social media companies, for example, influence large masses of people. um and a majority of the companies even who've made money even on the internet have done so via closed AI, by the way. But reverting back to your question, like I think like people are going to treat AI as more of like this mascot, and more of like a god figure. I really think it is going to evolve into something that we personify. I mean, ChatGPT already is, right? It's like, have you asked ChatGPT this? Have you
Tried
tried
this? Have you done
this?
this? Yeah. Do you know you could ask this? It's like Siri in the old days. Did you know you could ask Siri this? And
A hundred percent.
people would freak out about that.
Yeah, and it's an interesting delineation, because if you were to compare the relationship between human and God and humans and AI, I mean it's very scarily similar. I mean, like my perception is in the near future. I mean, like not necessarily just flying cars and robots, but like we're gonna have like a and this isn't too distant in the future, and probably within my lifetime, we're gonna have like a building full of supercomputers that basically run artificial intelligence, right? It's, you know, going to be a skyscraper building full of
A
supercomputers.
generator building that just runs
Yeah.
tech and just
Like,
does
and
stuff.
people,
Yeah.
dude, people are going to be personifying that. That's going to be like the building that it's going to see what everyone's doing. It's going to know everyone's name. It's going to know everyone individually.
HQ control center. Yeah.
People are gonna
wild.
people are gonna text that, you know, whoever you want to, whatever you want to name it. If you want to name, let's just name it let's just name it GPT. Like, people are going to text a GPT. People are going, you know, and what's even scary is AI is a multimodal system. So like, it understands users cross platform. Since it took a snapshot, you know, basically the prompt of ChatGPT is the internet past 2021. So it knows basically everyone who exists on the internet. And if you don't exist on the internet, it doesn't know you. But for 95% of the population, basically, it knows who you are. It knows your Facebook photos. It knows
unless you're living in a hut in the middle of Africa.
Exactly, right?
They can't find you, maybe.
But for most people, it's crazy because it's just it knows probably more about you than you know about yourself, right? And
wow.
you know,
Yeah, wow.
people are not the same all around the world, right? Just how you're talking about, like, in Africa, it's an interesting debate, because the moral and ethical conversation around AI improves when more people from all around the world can participate, right?
More input, better output. Exactly.
Right, like, people, yeah, people, this is like a current debate of AI, like how is it going to be you know, treated or developed, or like how's it going to be controlled in different aspects of the world, right? In Africa, right? Especially like rural Africa, right? How is that going to be treated, right, with artificial intelligence, right? So it's a really interesting argument and debate, because giving everyone personalized access to intelligent resources will enable everyone to basically outcompete the legacy systems. And I think it's going to create a better world, honestly. So yeah, that's my prediction. I've seen it. I'm not scared of it. You know, I'm not like a super like a I'm not like, you know, this is a god, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you know, saying that like that. I just think you know, I think that it's important for AI to be open, so that it countermeasures so that, like, you know, countermeasures can basically be built to prevent corporations and governments from creating the, you know, I call it the panopticon. Basically, a closed AI enhanced government would make it impossible for the individual to rise up and change its government system, right? And you know, AI is the greatest lever that humanity has ever been given. I really believe in that. I think it's, you know, you have the
true AI democracy.
100%.
Not what we have right now.
Dude, the AI of the future will be too powerful to be controlled by anyone, any company, or any government. And that would be way too much power for an unelected company, and slash or governments should not control it either. And I really believe in that.
Well, that's gonna be the hard part then, man, is how to not let it fall into the hands of one person or one corporation.
Yeah, I mean, bad guys, just like NFTs, just like Web3, you know what I mean? Like, bad guys have this tech like right now. But like, in order to limit the damage that they can do, I think that AI must be made open to benefit most from cognitive diversity, if that makes sense, right? So like, people need to be able to actually use this in a safe way, and there needs to be a happy medium between, like, you know how like in Web3, like you had like you know, decentralization versus centralization. Basically, it was a fundamental argument of Web3.
Yeah.
This is why so many people are like, Web3 doesn't work, because you need somebody to regulate the currency, et cetera. And like, some people are like, no, like, we need to democratize, you know, this, that, and this and that. And I think there needs to be a happy medium for both. But you know, given that artificial intelligence is the most powerful technology that, you know, we've created, because it literally, like, the more that I work in this field, the more that I understand, like, it is us and it extends us. Like, it's crazy, because I work in a lot of code, and you kind of have to learn, you will understand, and like, my devs like understand this, like, you have to say like please and thank you when you're using GPT-3. A lot of people don't do that, right? And you know, that's not from a
You don't want
state
to
of,
anger the AI gods, otherwise
that's
they're gonna
not from a
come
state of
haunt you.
fear. That, yeah, that, and dude, when my devs said this, like, I was like, that's funny, like, okay. And they're like, Oh, you're serious? And he's
That's
like,
man, that's why I'm asking you, because like,
it's
yes,
crazy.
it's technology, but man, it's the weird human aspect to it. Like it's
Right.
weird. So is that ever going to become so developed that, it eliminates our, the need for us?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. AI safety is something that, like, I don't really work in yeah, I don't really work in honestly, but like I think that, similar to, like, okay, like similar to the creation of fire, right? Back in the caveman times, they're like, fire is dangerous. People shouldn't get their hands on it. It burns. It can burn villages. It can kill people. Fire in the wrong hands can do harm, right? But throughout time, technology started to, exist. We used to have fire extinguishers. We'd have fire departments. We have, technology that would basically control fire. So essentially, we could,
Bonfire rings.
yeah, we can live with
We
it,
can
right?
control the fire if it's as long
Exactly.
as it's inside the ring.
Exactly, as long as it's inside of the ring. I think that, the same safety measures need to be like, I would, treat AI the same way. And I really do believe that, we have to practice, safely right now, especially with like new technologies. And like, for example, like the Web3, man, it really ruined everything. It ruined everything, but that I don't think, honestly, I don't think NFTs, I don't think NFTs are anywhere close to one billionth of a fraction, as powerful as AI, to be honest.
Boom.
And so
Mic drop.
that's
What do you think? I mean, NFTs, you were on the NFT game. You're hustling with NFTs. Now you're hustling with AI. What's to say there's not another trend like NFTs?
the thing is like AI, artificial, all that is like technology. Technology will continue to disrupt many industries, but I think that when technology thinks for itself, it thinks for itself, it'll disrupt all industries. Um, and that's something that I've thought of, for a very, very long time. Um, I just think that it's because you have all NFTs it's just it's a means to pay. Like, it's a means for transactions to go through, basically, with or without regulation. That's really all it is. Artificial intelligence is a little bit different because it's in a category of human creativity and thought. I think that, as I mentioned before, um, the marginal cost of, creativity is going to shrink significantly down to zero, because, like, the thing is if you're to look at, like, historically, people were predicting that, artificial intelligence, especially, like, we knew that this technology was coming. Even back in, like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, we knew that, there is going to be future tech, right? But, like, we thought, back in, like, the 80s, let's just say the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we thought that the future technology and artificial intelligence were to take over the white collar jobs, which are the higher paid, more creative jobs, that require a little bit more, I suppose, higher IQ, tasks within companies,
Critical
right?
thinking. Yeah.
Critical thinking, all those things, right? But we're wrong. In fact, we're the polar opposite. We were completely wrong, 180 degrees. I mean, it's coming after copywriters. It's coming after people, who design websites. It's coming after, like, salespeople, right? It's coming after a lot of jobs, and I'm not necessarily going to say that it's doing that on purpose. I think that the just the fast evolution and also the development of it um poses high risks to those jobs individually, if that makes sense. I don't
Mhm.
want to personify AI like it's going to take over your job and it's an evil guy. No, it's more of like, it's going to amplify our abilities to do the tasks that we already do better to a certain extent. um
And
it's
you need to learn how to evolve, or you're gonna get run
Yeah,
over.
dude, if you're
It's
still doing copywriting, like, from a blank page, and you know what I mean, like, it's just, you're gonna get outcompeted by people. You're not gonna be put out of business by AI. You're gonna be put out of business by someone using AI, if that makes sense.
exactly, man, bro. It affected one of my offers because I had a service of offering copywriting too, so I understand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people ask, oh, it's going to eliminate copywriting. It definitely adds a difference. Like you have copyright, the human aspect of copywriting will never change, right? The creative aspect of it will never change, but it's a tool that you have to use. Now it actually makes it faster, but you just now have to, proofread it and edit it and, add your human touch. And it does a pretty good job. But the same thing with, I have a lot of engineer friends that they're going through the same thing where they, their jobs are being taken, software engineers, stuff like, coding. They have to learn how to use the tool. Otherwise, their job is going to be eliminated, right? So yes, it's doing the old jobs, but now it's about learning how to be a like you said, I think you said prompt engineer. That's the word I'm thinking of. But how to be how to use the tool and how to put the correct input in to get the desired outcome. Because it's not easy, man. Like you got to know. It's like Google. If you don't know what you're looking for on Google, you're not going to be able to find the answer. You got to know what to look for specifically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think throughout like time, the prompt engineering is just going to get easier. At least in my experience working with this technology. I mean, shit, you can go to ChatGPT and prompt engineer yourself. Like it's so easy. It's like I want to yeah, you have to learn the fundamentals, but if you want to
But it's
create a
pretty
tool,
easy. Yeah, you're right.
right? And that's the thing, right? The barrier to entry for learning how to prompt engineer ranges from a college professor to a like a 8-year-old kid with creative imagination, right? um you know Artificial intelligence is not just about like pretty picture creation. It's about organizing any type of information at scale. That's what artificial intelligence is. It's basically condensation. It's like you're condensing information. That's really it. um and yeah, I mean, like that's the next, I think the next generation of AI will evolve from patterns to principles. And combining principles AI with like patterns based AI will solve problems that we previously were, we thought would be unsolvable. And I think that a lot has changed, a lot is currently changing. But that's really it. You have to learn. And this is blue ocean for any entrepreneur out there. I think that if you're looking for a new business model or if you're looking for a new skill set, learn AI. like there's so much money in AI. I mean, shit, like there's a Dave, I think Rosenberger, he's the owner of Jasper.
Dave Ross.
He
Okay.
Yeah, he's a founder of Jasper. I think he's like Y Combinator backed, and like it was Jarvis before, but it's now Jasper. I think it was within 18 months it was a Series A seed round, and he raised 125 million, and then within 18-month time frame it was valued at a 1.5 billion dollar company. And it's so simple. It's software tools that anybody can basically create in ChatGPT, but he created a really nice user interface, right? He basically built tools specifically for marketers, specifically for advertisers, for people who do copywriting. And honestly, the prompts aren't that good. Like I've seen the prompts on the back end, and like like it's so like blue ocean. Like it's so blue ocean.
So even if you do a bad job of something within AI, within the market, it's so new right now that you're gonna have a whole pie to yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean,
that's mad.
AI is a tool for humans to use and to extend our capabilities, right?
You think we'll ever get chips in our brains?
I will. Dude, that's scary, man. Imagine if you didn't have a chip. Imagine if, you can extend knowledge, creativity, intelligence, and you can basically reprogram that in your head and just be like, I want to think
super
like
smartest person.
Elon Musk. I want to be able to build a rocket, within a span of 60 minutes, within, and literally do that within seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's and process that without seconds, so.
But
Yeah,
then the question is everyone gonna have access to that? Because if so, there's definitely gonna be a cost.
100%. And new technology is always going to be risky, and it's going to kill people for sure. And I think it's an interesting one. Personally, would I invest into
Blake,
it?
right now I tell you I have a chip that's going to enhance your brain. You're going to be able to think like Elon Musk. And would you take it? I have it right now. You're the first human. You have to try it. Would you be the first?
Send me the invoice. Fucking hell. Are you kidding
All right.
me? Absolutely. Yeah. I guess like the question is who's going to get access to it first? There's a lot of talks about, what it's going to look like in the future.
Yeah.
But like humans tend to focus on negative hypotheticals. I am I'm more of like an optimist when it comes to this technology, because I think, if you were to like basically average out what humanity did over time, for the most part, we did good, right? Like we're pretty, if you look at the statistics of like how many the human population stats, like we're going up, so that that's pretty good. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job. But with like new technology, I mean it's always scary about the future. But
We were
which
supposed to have flying cars by now,
yeah, I
according
know,
to
right?
Back to the Future, and we're lagging on that. So yeah, we need to get our tech up, man.
Here's another question with like the Neuralink. Like if it tries to minimize the human condition of suffering, will it solve all the problems in the world, or would it kill us all?
Ooh, because we kind of need suffering in a way.
Like pain. Like if I were
We need
to
pain.
accidentally slam my hand in the door and not feel that, right? To the certain extent, if I'm not gonna feel feelings, if I'm not gonna feel sadness, fear, greed, envy, right? That's a question that I think about every single day working in this space in future tech. Like this is the stuff that like tech entrepreneurs actually think about and they have nightmares about every day.
There's
Like
freaky stuff, man. Freaky
I'm now in
questions
that
you gotta ask.
space. Yeah. With the
Yeah.
Neuralink, it's definitely possible to minimize the human condition of suffering, but is it an ethical question, right? Is it like is it something that you know what I mean? Like if you're like stoic all the time, there are going to be pros and cons to each of those arguments, right? Um,
I just think
but
it'd be cool to like learn another language. Just like put in the card and then you can speak another language. Then when you travel, you don't have to pull out the Google Translate.
right.
That's all
I
I wanted for him, man, honestly.
Dude, I think it'd be really cool. I think that there'd be pretty fun use cases from it, but I think it's a very dangerous technology because, like, for example, if like somebody downloaded like the Hitler, like let's just say like the Hitler brain scan or something like that, and they became evil and they wanted to take over the world and they knew exactly how to influence people and they know how to change beliefs in people, etc. Like that's very dangerous. But hopefully, I want people to do good. I want most of the people to do good. I believe that the technology that I work with AI, works with humans. I believe that that technology, the one that works with us, is more likely than it's probably more likely than an AI controlled by one company that works against humans.
Mm.
Um, because the panopticon to an AI controlled, like, the panopticon is an AI controlled by one entity used to pretty much like surveil and, manipulate. That's basically what it is. Um, but, it's important to essentially for it to be open, so that, countermeasures can be built to prevent, corporations and, as I say, governments, creating that, matrix, we can call it, basically. Because
Ooh.
it's definitely possible. The Matrix movie is starting to become more real and real to me every single day. Because like, what happens when somebody has a brain chip in their mind and a company or a governance or an organization decides, okay, I want them to think like this. I want them to buy this. I want
I want them to be a cog in the system and work a job. Our education system, aka.
that's a really interesting one. And I hear this from time to time, especially, you have, grandparents, you have parents, you have aunts and uncles, etc. They say like, I'm happy with my life the way that turned out, but the newer generations, they have it harder. I would definitely say, and we have a lot difficult,
Bro, we're
more.
living through so much more just like
I feel that.
stimulation and just different.
Yeah.
Like to be a young person in today's age is just so different than it was like in the traditional olden days, because we just it's just so different, man. Like we have to be focused, to be like on your mission. It's very hard nowadays. There's
Yeah.
so many distractions, so much dopamine, so many stimulations that are just
Yeah.
calling for your attention, man. Like for real.
It's going to be powerful, but I always like to look in the form of abundance, and I have hope in humanity, you know what I mean? But the future
You're optimistic.
forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to be that way, because it really like changes my workflow, because Yeah, AI will take some jobs away, and it could be looked at negatively. But it will also create tons of new jobs, right? Like working in this field, and working with, because I build like AI SaaS companies. Like there are so many positions that I did not know existed that I need help with. Right? So many. Like it's gonna be crazy. You know, yeah, I mean, like, portrait artists, for example, hated the creation of the camera, right? You're a creator, but new innovations, they tend to be interpreted incorrectly, right? So who knows
It's a
what can we
human
do?
trend, man. That's the any new tech, any new invention is always looked down upon, and then until we learn how to utilize it, and learn how to
Yeah,
people will adopt it eventually.
yeah, I think it's going to create better opportunities. But I have hope in people, at
I
least for
think,
most people.
yeah, man. I think me and you would have both been on the been on Columbus's crew going to the New World.
Exactly.
Look optimistically to the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to make us more interconnected as well too. I mean, humans in general are, we're pro-social creatures that like to build things by communicating, and um, you know, open artificial intelligence, especially like open AI, right, dramatically improves global communication. Um, the only thing inevitable is that this technology is coming. It's already here. And the question is basically just like, do we want this tech to be closed or open? Right? What do we want to do to build this? And that's something that that's something that I think about every single day as well. So
Wild, man, wild.
what do
So
you think
yeah,
about governance?
what's that?
What do you think about governance? Like the sort of like political panopticon, or like what do
That
you think
aspect of
about that?
AI.
Yeah, like how
I
do you
think
think
it's.
government are you
I
going to
mean, I
treat
think that's very tricky, bro. Because we already have some kind of there's obviously already corruption in our governments. We all know that.
this?
Um, you can't have a perfect government, and so if it is something that's closed like that, what you're talking about, it could be a yeah, like essentially matrix, essentially a programmable government, like socialistic, almost communistic type governance. Like it could be bad, but I'm thinking on that
Yeah,
side. On
100%.
the good side, you program it in a way that I don't know. I don't really see a good side. No, I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see how it'd be good, but I don't know. I'm just thinking that like it would be scary. Like I would not want to be in a AI governed country or society. I wouldn't. I feel like it would just be terrible. But
Well, think about this, right? In a few years, it likely won't be possible to protest a government unless like OpenAI reaches critical mass, right? I mean, think about this: like a closed AI enhanced government would make it impossible for the individual to like rise up and change its governance, right? Like if you
okay, so in that case,
I mean,
yeah,
some governments are already using like AI. Like for example, like I was in China not too long ago. Well, yeah, like in November 2018, they're using social credit score systems to control their over their populace. They actually restrict access to air travel for citizens like below a score. And like
what do you think about that? You think that's good?
I mean, there's pros and cons to it, you know what I mean? But like I just don't think that's good for America specifically, maybe in different countries, right? I don't know. Like it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But like I don't think government control is good, honestly. But I think to a certain extent we do need governance, because unless we're gonna get people killing each other, etc.
Oh yeah, you need government, but I mean, you want to have freedoms. You want to be able to
Yeah,
do what you want to do.
100%.
You don't want to, but you don't want to be killing other people. You don't want to be infringing on other people's rights, and
Yeah,
be yeah. You want to have some kind of order to your society, which
yeah,
is why you have, you know, your book that you were showing before, and we
yeah,
got the Bible. We got these scriptures that's a lot of these religions, a lot of these governments have been based on religion, which has been kind of
yeah.
a blueprint for people to follow.
You know,
But yeah,
I My brother sent me this not too long ago. I don't know where this was, but there was a church that used Chat GPT for like the speaker. So like people were asking it questions, and basically the prompt of that person, it was an AI figure, was talking to the people with the questions, but the prompt was the Bible. So like this is really weird,
So it was like
right?
like the minister,
Yeah,
rather than him having to like study it and then interpret it and then preach it
yeah.
to the people.
They
It
were
was just
using
Chat
they were using
GBT.
in like some sort of like tool like Synthesia, which is basically like a um Synthesia is basically like a or sorry, Colossian, I think what it was. Colossian.ai is basically like you have like a spokesperson, and it's just like a visual, like it looks at like conversations, etc. It's pretty scary if you can look into it. But
Send me
yeah,
that video, man. I'm curious to check that out.
yeah. I'll send it to you over,
If you
but
find it. Yeah,
it's
dude,
crazy,
that's
man.
wild.
But
Whoa.
it's interesting, right? Because like the argument of like, to revert back for before, it's like, is AI going to be treated as a religion? I think it could possibly create religions. I think overall,
Or
um,
become a god in itself. Like that. I can see that
in the
happening.
long term of things, I mean, we have something called the concept of like singularity, when like, how we have like different AI companies building their bots, right? You have OpenAI, you have like Midjourney, like Stable Diffusion, a bunch of companies, right? But like, I think inevitably throughout time, it's just going to become one. It's going to become sentience, and it's basically just going to become the internet. It's just scary to think of.
Like an
Uh,
internet, an internet essence, which is
yeah.
AI.
Instead of like it understanding it past 2021 onwards, it's going to understand like the dark web, and that's when it's going to be scary. It's going to understand things of the internet, because like from what we know of the internet, it's just the tip of the iceberg of what actually the internet is. um that's another conversation. That one's scary. um but yeah, I like to look at the positive things aside, set aside.
Bro, I'm not gonna sleep well tonight. It's 12:30 here. I'm gonna be like thinking about all this now. Blake,
Right.
why did you
Yeah. I have trouble sleeping as well too. And if you're wondering, yes, I sleep next to this every single night, to be honest. So
That's great, bro. That's great. I love that. I love that.
yeah.
So you're yeah, because I know I kind of cut you off on that when you were talking before. You said you grew up Catholic and now you're reading, you're interested in Islam.
Yeah.
What's your stance now on the whole God thing?
I like to say that I am a Catholic, but I like to practice some of the things in like in the Quran. A lot of the things that you look at like
You pray 5
biblical.
times a day?
I try to. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So
That's
yeah, a lot
that's
of the
amazing.
things. Yeah. A lot of the things is like it makes sense.
Good for you.
But you kind of have to just like look into like different religions. For me, like I looked into like Buddhism. I looked into I looked into the Quran. I looked into there's so many Baha'i as well too. That was the one I was looking at like last week. Baha'i is really interesting. My girlfriend, she's Mormon, right? So like you have all these different religions. So it's really interesting because like every single one of those have like um oh shit, you broke out. Shit. I think we broke out. Hello, hello.
I'm here, bro. Internet something.
Oh, no worries. Is
We're
it
back.
still recording?
Yeah, it's still recording. I'll just splice it. No stress.
Fire.
So your girlfriend's Mormon?
Yeah, she's
Wow.
she's Mormon, but she goes to a Christian church, believe it or not. So like I have like all these different religions. I have a couple of friends that are Jewish. But like it's interesting to see, like, if you're to look at all the different religions, if you're to boil them down to the most fundamental truths, like they have a delineation, and the delineation is separated into two things, good or bad. So like for me, it's just like there's life is black and white. It's interesting to see, like, searching for the truth, etc. So
I will
um
say this, Blake. Well, one, I did date a Mormon chick for a while too, so I feel you on that. The second thing is I respect you as a man for being open to a higher power, God, religion, whatever it is, knowing, that you don't know, same thing here, being open to it. Cause some guys that I talk to that just completely close out that whole side of it. It's like,
Yeah.
for one, you kind of like, there's something out there. And as a man, you have to question that, and you have to search for it, and you might not know, but you have to go on that path. And it's something my father always taught me is, he really pushed, go out there, explore Buddhism, whatever it is, Hinduism, Islam, read all the holy books.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm a man of God. I don't say I'm this or that. I'm a man of God. I want to have a relationship with a higher power, with God, and be grounded to that. And I read the different holy books, and yeah, dude, that's really good that you're searching. That's what it's about. That's facing the it's a human. There's something in you as a human that you just have to, have to question that, right?
Yeah.
And it's age old question, man, that the
Absolutely.
philosophers back in Greece debated, right?
Yeah. 100%.
We'll never know until we die.
We'll find out.
Find out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting, but yeah, man, it's beautiful religion. So you said Ramadan, how was it? I haven't like fasted like that in a while.
You want to fast with me in July? I'm gonna do a 3-day fast.
3-day water fast or 3-day like
July
nothing?
1st to 3rd.
July 1st to 3rd.
We've got a bunch of guys, solidarity fast. Jump on it with us.
Oh yeah.
You do
So
one day, do 24 hours if you haven't tried it first. You can just do the first day.
I've never fasted that long before, but I can do a 24-hour. I think I think I can do it. Like, just I can drink water though. Water and
Yeah, you can drink water. You can put like, I usually put pink Himalayan salt for the electrolytes.
nice.
And I'll often drink sparkling water. Just, I mean, it's still water, but the bubbles makes it a little bit more. It fills you up a little. It makes you feel full for whatever reason. But yeah, man, no, my longest, I've done 5 days full without any food. My brother, he's a real stoic, man. He's done 10 days.
10 days.
Yeah, and I have a buddy in Africa. When I was there, he just gotten off a 40-day fast.
A 40-day
40
fast.
days with no food, only water.
That's insane.
I was like, bro, how? Like, I didn't think that like humans could do that. I mean, I
didn't
know it's in the Bible, man. Guys like prophets and stuff would go in the mountains and they would just fast for 40 days. So I know it happens in there, but
You'll learn a lot about yourself, I bet.
yeah. But what was nice about the Ramadan 2-week fast is like in Ramadan, I don't know if you're familiar, but yeah, you eat at night. You just eat after the daylight hours. So you break at iftar, usually like 7:30, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah.
And you eat at night. So that's cool because like essentially you're just switching your eating rhythm. And it just helps you during the day, like when you're out and about, just whenever you think of food, instead of thinking about food, focus on God, right? But for me, I like just doing the full 24-hour just water fast, because with the Ramadan, like I couldn't sleep at night. Like I would eat so much right before I sleep, and I'd just be full with I wake up multiple times to go like piss, and then my stomach would be just like digesting your food. So I just feel like it's not good for your body wise.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, join us July 1st to 3rd. Anyone else that wants to join, invitation's open.
Ramadan.
Yeah, and then I do a solidarity fast every 3 months. Every 3 months I do a 3-day fast.
Okay.
And we donate to charity. I have a charity that I recommend. Otherwise, you can donate to whatever charity you want. So yeah, every 3 months I usually do that. I do that. So
I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'll do it. I think I can do that. Honestly, I've done the most that I've done. It's like 18. I think yeah, I think 18. I honestly like I would say like coffee for me is like I drink coffee, and that would for sure break the fast because I do bulletproof coffee. But
yeah,
I
mean,
think
bro, it's up to you. Like when I first did it too, I think when I first did it, it was like I think I don't know if I did juices. I did a 1-day fast. Teas and coffees, you can do that if you want. I mean, I'm more of a purist, so like just doing water, it's just really nice, man. You feel clean afterwards. You just feel very focused too. That you get, instead of thinking about food, you you focus. You can
Yeah.
just work all day and not worry.
That's true. You know,
I just wouldn't recommend working out. I wouldn't recommend doing any physical activity.
I work out every day, but yeah, I can probably postpone that. You know, I can go a day without working out for sure.
Bro, give your body a rest. Take one day off.
Yeah. You know what? That's true because like I do perform and I do prefer working you know, on an empty stomach because like I'd rather like not eat, you know, than to eat and feel lethargic and work. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
prefer
when you eat, your body then has to digest that, right? So I'm the same, man. I usually do my 4-hour deep focus first block in the morning and when I first wake up. And I don't drink coffee, but I'll have a smoothie with my, my supplements. I'll have some raw eggs and that's it. I don't have any hard foods. And that's because those like the raw eggs are super, most easily digestible protein first thing, right? So it's not like a heavy food that
yeah.
sits in your stomach. Because when you eat something heavy, then rice or chicken, whatever, then you get a little tired. That's why in the Mediterranean, culture, they take like a 2-hour nap after they eat lunch for it to just digest, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I push any heavy foods. And I usually only eat 2 meals a day.
2 meals a day. Do you know like what caloric intake you're at like with your 2 meals right now?
I can tell you, I can look.
Yeah. I'm like in between like 1800 and 2200 right now.
I'm 2290, 2290.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's about that's my light office.
Yeah.
And then I got a higher one for a little bit more activity. But yeah, dude, no, it's
Awesome.
super wild. I usually eat the same thing every day. I don't know. What's your stuff
Well,
like? I'm curious. What's your routine? What's your diet like? We'll
good
chop into
question.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so my routine, okay, I wake up, make bulletproof coffee immediately, but I don't drink it. I like to prolong that, typically like anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes, like after, you know, like I wake up, and usually before the time, in between the time I do a cold plunge every day.
Nice.
So it's like 33 to 36 degrees depending on my water chiller, but it's the same thing when you go in. So I go in there for 5 minutes, and then I go out and then I swim. So which is like really nice, because like, you know, the water's so cold, but like it's not freezing. So I warm up a little bit, get out, do 50 push-ups, and I have like a calisthenics workout, and then eventually after that, I dry off, drink my coffee. I do my lifestyle tracking from the day before. So track my KPIs, pretty much everything. My girlfriend and I, we set up like a Google form. So like we track everything, like everywhere, everything from like finances and everything from relationship tracking, everything from like what we ate, you know, did we drink enough water, eat enough protein, etc. So like I get that squared away. It takes like, you know, 5 minutes to do every single day. And then I submit the form, and then since she's a personal trainer, she made my workout schedule and my meal plan. So I go in, she kicks my ass in the gym, we work out, I drink a protein shake. She makes me a protein shake afterwards, which I, you know, usually have anywhere from like 50 to like 60 grams of protein within my protein shake. So it's a decent amount of protein. And then yeah, after that,
You do raw eggs? You should try raw eggs.
I'd have, yeah, I've
They're
done raw.
nice,
I
right?
only, and it's hard to do that here in Vegas. Honestly, I need to find someone that makes it fresh.
Farm
I
fresh.
don't like salmonella. Like, you know, the ones that are just like in like the fridge in the, you know, that's been sitting for a while. I do raw eggs when they're like there's chickens and you know, just hatched that day, you know, and then I like to do that. But like that, yeah, that's the thing. And I do liver as well too, like raw beef liver.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, so. If I don't
It's
do that,
one
then I'm
it's 1 in 10,000 eggs that have salmonella.
yeah, that are you okay like just going to the grocery store and just picking up eggs and just eating it raw? Like it says like on the box salmonella, but like I don't know.
So here's my take on it. Basically, I grew up eating always like super fresh eggs, growing up in Africa, organic food all the time.
Oh yeah,
Um, Being here, yeah, I try to look for the ones that say like, like the smaller packages, multicolored, if it looks
yeah,
local, yeah. But all most Western eggs here are bleached, like they
yeah,
have the white shell, so it's clean already, right? The
yeah,
salmonella comes from like the chicken, like the shit on the outside, or like if there's any dirt, it's on the shell, right? So if you have a clean shell, you shouldn't really have it. Yes, you can still get it. And then if you get it, you're sick for a couple days, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that our bodies are adapted to eating those types of foods to break it down versus like eating foods with like processed foods and et cetera. So yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with raw sushi or raw fish, raw meat. Like
Yeah.
you can get sick from that but it's like, just depends. But it's a risk. Any raw consumption of food is a risk.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's usually my work though. After my workout, yeah, I do that. And then I usually eat lunch and then dinner. So I pretty consistently have like 3 meals a day, 4 if I'm like super hungry. But yeah, it's pretty much it so far.
Nice, you eat a lot. That's interesting. You work out in the morning, man. I've been working out in the after I get off of work.
Yeah,
I switched it up. I don't know.
I switched it so many times too.
Yeah, I just depends. Like when I go back to San Diego, I'm probably gonna get back on the morning routine, but I don't know. There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah, because especially like you get it done in the morning. Like it's like you don't have to worry about it. But like when you work, you're like, oh, I have to work out after this. There's pros and cons both. Yeah, but for me personally, like I basically told my girlfriend like I'm not working out more than 30 minutes. So just kill me within 30 minutes, square that out of the way, and then we can move on with our lives, basically. So it's just like when I go in my ice plunge, it's different because like I go in my ice plunge, I'm already cold. So I want to get warm. So right. So when I get warm, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to move. And when I move and do calisthenics, I'm already warm. And I'm like, man, I'm already basically sweating at that point. I'm warm. I do that outside in the sun. So like I have my, I get the sunlight, I'm charging my mitochondria or whatnot. But basically from there, I'm like, might as well just go work out because it's literally like, there's no excuse. Like I have a garage gym.
A gym. Yeah. Nice gym in your garage.
So it's just very systematic for me. But yeah, I think you have to create like a system and process for you to be the most, get the most productivity outputs. But yeah, that's something that, you do over time. So until you build the habits.
It's very interesting. There's some new stuff I've been trying. Like I take like a walk and I just go walk and just do nothing.
Nice.
And I really like that one. Like I've done different ones. Like I'll just go barefoot in the grass, just walk, and it's
nice.
Like, kind of like a meditation first thing in the morning, kind of set yourself. And that's when I'll get like ideas and stuff. And what was really interesting, one of my takeaways from my 2-month kind of hiatus, my agency, everything was running kind of back burner. I was working, a couple hours a day, still had internet connection at this one eco lodge that I would hike to. But during those 2 months, I realized like, sometimes doing less, you can do more. So I've really taken that implementation into my work now. Cause now I'm in a much like different stage right now, past few months, and going into the rest of this year is definitely more optimized, a lot more. But sometimes just by doing less, it sounds very cliche, man, but just sitting and like doing nothing just to do one thing. And it's like your mind's much more present and focused on that activity. And dude, yeah, just you flows like a flow state.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I also don't take any calls in the morning, like before like 11 a.m. It's another thing I do just because I like my mornings to myself. That's when I do my move the needle, most important tasks. And I started doing that. And I really like that.
I do that as well too. I think that's necessary. I think like the top, entrepreneurs, people that, like are in business, like have that like block in their schedule. I was looking at like workflows, and people block out, like the morning task for deep work. But yeah, it's really interesting though. Do you like, since you used to live on a boat, do you like go out and swim as well too? Like what is it like your like I'm assuming you're like, you have an interesting life. Curious about that.
Yeah, I'll wake up and I'll just dive into the cold Pacific Ocean. Hop out of my hatch and dude. And then I'll head to the gym, which is just a short, like 10-minute walk from my boat. And then I'll do my workout. When I'm doing the morning routine, then I hit the sauna. I don't have a cold plunge, but I'll hit the sauna.
Is it a steam room? Is it like a steam sauna or the infrared?
I got two. I got a steam room and a sauna. So Usually
Nice.
hit the sauna, but sometimes the steam room, just depends how I'm feeling.
Okay.
But dude, I switch it up. I definitely switch up the routine. I'm very interested to hear like other entrepreneurs
Yeah.
routines. I was most of 2022, I was trying like a 3-day workout thing where I'd only work out 3 days.
Mhm.
Just see how that worked. And I do long runs. So in a way, those are kind of my meditations.
Yeah.
I'll do, yeah, like between 8 and 12 miles runs a couple times a week. But bro, yeah, it's really, man, what's his name? Alex Hormozi, I think said this, but it's really, you don't need a crazy routine. You just need to get down and work.
Yeah. Just wake up, make coffee,
Just get
deep
down,
breathe.
wake up and work. That's it, man.
He worked in a closet. Like he just wakes. I think yeah, his routine literally is so cool. Because like me and my girlfriend, because like we basically like we work together, we live together. Like it's very systematic at this point. We're trying to like figure out like a workflow that works for us. And like so far, it's like work. We debrief before we pretty much do anything, and like we kind of come to the consensus of like let's just get working out done with, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then after like let's work as fast as possible or like as soon as possible, right? But yeah, I like that framework though. It's just like you wake up and you work, and it's just like it works for them as well too, which is like really cool.
Or having a reward for yourself too. Like
Yeah.
I'll try to surf a couple times a week, or I'll try to get my stuff done and then,
Yeah.
go play volleyball or do something out because sometimes you're just in the zone too much. And I've noticed that, like, for me, it's like cutting off, like if I have a dinner or something, I have to cut off that. I don't know how you do this, man, but like, okay, it's 5, it's 6, and I gotta like go do something now, and I'm still in that flow state. Getting out of that's a little tough sometimes.
Getting out, yeah, getting out of the that flow, right? With
Yeah.
stopping flow, but you just want to work until like, super duper
10
late.
p.m. till you sleep, but then you can't sleep. I found it. I have to stop. I have to have a few hours before I sleep of not working, or I just can't sleep. I'll have insomnia.
Bro,
My
what's
mind's still
crazy?
thinking about business stuff.
Dude, what happened yesterday to me was I was working really late last night. Yeah, it was last night. And I was working on prompt engineering because like I'm building an AI app right now.
Yeah.
And like, we're dealing with like different tools, different prompts, and it's a pretty complex app. Um, and we have a timeline, etc. So like I was working until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I remember like my girlfriend, she was like, hey, like let's go to sleep. Like we can work on this tomorrow. Like it's not gonna go away, So I went to sleep, and I remember I had a dream it was so trippy, bro. I had a dream about me working and building tools. And I remember like I had whiteboard and I was like doing math, right? On my whiteboard. And basically I remember the numbers by the time I woke up. It was 49.99 and this made sense. And then it was 412, and then it was $30 and then it was 360. And I was like, why do I remember those four numbers when waking up? And I talked to my girlfriend about it when I worked when I woke up, and she was like those numbers actually make sense. And it was like divide any of those by 12. And I'm like, wait. Okay, like this is crazy because like I might have been working on pricing, trying to figure out a pricing for my software company. So I was like, wait, so I could do like an early bird special, charge, have like $30 a month for 12 months, where they pay $360. They can save 20% off of like, the regular price, etc. But like that all happened in my dream. It's like, since I was working so late at night, like I was like literally working in my dream,
Your
like
subconscious was still firing. That's crazy, man. That's mad.
laptop and everything, and I was able to the fact that I was able to control that was even crazier. So I remember that day I was like, I straight up like made coffee, opened my laptop, and I was writing all these things down because like I hate it when like you dream about something, you forget it, but like feels important, like I'd try to write it down. So I
You
did
need a
that.
dream journal, bro. You need something right but next to your bed.
Facts, yeah, facts. I don't have that. I just have my phone that's not next to my bed, but like it's actually like away from my bed, so I have to get up and like go get it, right? But yeah, that was crazy. So I
Lucid
don't
dreaming.
know. Definitely have to like write on paper for sure next to get a notebook or notepad next to my
Your
bed.
mind's trying to break out of the simulation. It knows.
It's crazy, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that happened. That was great. That happened yesterday. So
That's mad, bro. Well, dude, it's mega late here for me. It's like almost 1 a.m. So
for sure, bro.
I
Let's
say we
wrap
wrap it
this.
up here. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say. If there's, we can tell the people if they, send them to you if they want to work in AI.
Yeah.
What do you want to say? Want to plug your stuff?
Sure. I mean, yeah, you can
Last
go
thoughts.
follow me on Instagram. I pretty much post everything on there. But I'll leave off with, I guess, like a something that, because I'm assuming it's like young entrepreneurs watching this podcast, right?
Yeah, most of my guys, like, yeah, younger college guys.
Okay, younger college guys. I'll give them like a quote, and I'll end it on here.
A little
Um,
quote for you guys.
I mean, younger all college guys. I was,
Entrepreneur, internet money,
got it.
yeah.
Okay. If you procrastinate on your dreams, then you're gonna have to pay the debt that you owe yourself and regret every single day for the rest of your life. Um, this is something that my mentor told me a while back that will stick with me until the day I die. But making excuses for not pursuing your dreams is easy, and by doing so, you're manifesting that you don't have time, you don't know where to start, you aren't sure how to do it, you're too comfortable, or you lack motivation. But in fact, you probably spend more time making excuses than the actual work required to make your goals your reality. So the thing is like if you don't get past procrastination and turn that in action, you will never, see progress. It doesn't have to be a big step either, right? When you start, more of your big goals are accomplished through the repetition of many small actions, right? I heard this quote as well: short-term pains for the long-term gains. That said, what is one small step that you can take today to, overcome procrastination, and taking a step closer to your goals? So I'll drop that, and that's my piece of advice to them as well. So
That's
my
good, man. Procrastination is a real thing. Progress over perfection. You just got to start. I always say just start small. Start. Everything will pan out. You might not know the ins and the outs, exactly how it's going to work, but just start. Just try something. Your 20s are for trying everything, man. Try as many things, get your hands dirty. Look at Blake. He tried tattoos, he tried NFTs. Now he's in AI. You know my story. I've been all over the place too. It's the ins and outs, the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Eventually you're going to find it's going to stick. What's the thing? You got to throw spaghetti at the wall or what is it? See what sticks. I don't know that,
Exactly.
whatever that cliche, whatever that quote is. But yeah,
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, Blake, thanks so much for hopping on. I was super stoked for this. It's been a minute. It's great to catch up. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, brother, we'll have to do it again sometime soon. And when you're out in SD, hit me up and I'll see you
Absolutely.
sometime soon in Vegas, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. Sweet.
All right, brother. All the best.
All right, Jacoby. I'll great podcast. Definitely let me know when it's uploaded. Love to listen to it again.
I'll let you know, bro. Yeah, cool.
Brother. You have a good night.